I have already released many videos about Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, in which we discussed with you almost everything from the release date and new locations to new characters. But today in the video, I will try to rank the monsters we expect to see in the 4th chapter by strength. Let's make a kind of top of the strongest characters in Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Hello dear friends, glad to see you on my channel. Today we continue to explore the boundless universe of Poppy Playtime, so to keep up with all the news, be sure to watch this video to the end and subscribe to the channel. Well, here we go. I hope you didn't think that I'm going to start my top with the strongest character, revealing all the cards at once. So the 10th place in my ranking of the strongest characters in Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is Hoppy Hopscotch. He is a hare with green fur who is a very active character. In his cardboard from the 3rd chapter, he mentions to us about space, and as we reasoned, we are expecting a space location in the new version of the game. Perhaps it is in this location that we will see Hoppy Hopscotch, and there we will have to fight him. But in my opinion, this character has no special abilities. His only advantage is dexterity, which in the battle with us will not be useful to him. 9th place in my ranking goes to a favorite of my subscribers, DogDay. DogDay is a dog from Smiling Critters who has leadership qualities. Let me remind you that DogDay was chained to a cage at Playcare for not wanting to obey Prototype. But you may ask the reasonable question, why did I place him so low in my rankings? I think that we should expect DogDay as Prototype's assistant in the new part of the game. He will be like CatNap in the 3rd part of the game. Perhaps he will be given more time in the 4th chapter than in the 3rd. Well, we move on with my ranking, and the 8th place goes to Daisy Flower. Daisy Flower is a character we expected to see back in Chapter 2, but we only saw her as a toy in a warehouse with rejected toys. But I think this character has some pretty good potential. I can even speculate that Daisy Flower has some sort of superpower that will allow her to blend into the game spectacularly. But then you might ask why. If Daisy Flower has such potential, is she only ranked number 8 in the rankings? In my opinion, Daisy Flower probably has a low chance of appearing in the game, and most likely she will remain just our expectation. The 7th place in my ranking of the strongest characters in the 4th chapter goes to Daddy Longlegs. Let me remind you that Daddy Longlegs is a monster from the Longlegs family, but of this family we only met Mommy Longlegs, who was the boss in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. Daddy Longlegs has excellent anthropometric indicators, which allows him to move quickly and get the enemy at a long distance. Bonus to all this, he is possessed by anger, because he lost his beloved wife, and with a huge probability, he will blame us for her death. So if suddenly such a character appears, we against him will come hard. The next place in my top, namely the 6th, is occupied by Piggy. This is a cute little piggy that seems to be very friendly at first glance, but as we find out later, it is a bloodthirsty creature that devours everything it sees on its way. Don't believe me? Ask Crafty Corn, Kickin' Chicken, and Bubba Fant. Since it's been a while since we've seen Piggy, it's likely that she's insanely bloodthirsty, so as soon as she sees a living creature, she'll immediately pounce on it in order to fulfill her needs. But in my opinion, apart from a huge desire and little physical data, Piggy has nothing else. I don't think she has any superpowers, but I could be wrong. Moving on, and the 5th place in my ranking is Bobby Bearhug. You might be surprised because Bobby Bearhug is a red kind bear who is ready to support her friend at any moment. But I believe that many people have abused her kindness and treated her badly, and because of this, she has a revenge plan for all her abusers. As a bonus to all of this, I believe that Bobby Bearhug could well have some sort of superpower. For example, she could appear kind when she sees someone offering them a friendly hug, and when someone agreed, she would strangle them in that hug. What superpower do you think Bobby Bearhug would have? Well, we've come to the 4th place in my ranking, and it goes to Bron the dinosaur. Dinosaur Bron is experiment number 1199. Let me remind you that Dinosaur Bron is a product of the Bigger Bodies Initiative experiment, and was created from a former employee of the Playtime Factory, 59-year-old Thomas Clark. After the experiment, he was put in a cell with other toys that are also the results of these experiments, but for some reason he was taken hostile by them and they mauled him, ripping out his spleen and tearing his vocal cords. After this attack, he had to undergo a long surgery, which he endured, but I believe he harbored a grudge against his abusers and will seek revenge on them. According to my assumptions, Bron must have grown to a considerable size, and on top of that, he must be very well oriented on the territory of Playcare, because he is an experiment on a former employee who worked here half of his life and knows every corner of this factory very well. Perhaps Bron has some superpowers, or he may have built himself some tools. We will be able to find out with the release of the game. The 3rd place in the ranking of the strongest characters from Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is occupied by the evil Kissy Missy. Yes, exactly evil. although Kissy Missy is known to all of you as a kind creature, which together with Poppy Doll is ready to come to our aid, I believe that she has another form, which can cause us a lot of problems. In my opinion, the evil Kissy Missy will be one of the strongest characters in the game, because she has a huge size. She participated in the Hour of Joy and she was experimented on, so she has suffered a lot and is ready for revenge. One of the first manifestations of the evil Kissy Missy we could see when the workers of the Playtime Factory came to the aid of the torn Bron, and there we can see Kissy Missy running away. What do you think? Will we be able to see the evil Kissy Missy in Chapter 4, and will she be a problem for us? The top 2 in my ranking goes to one of the most anticipated characters, namely Boxy Boo. Boxy Boo is known to us as Experiment Number 1966. This monster is a streamlined hunter with both speed and agility on his side. Its springy limbs allow it to jump high and far to get wherever it wants to go. Boxy Boo has several ways to surprise his prey. He can shift into the shape of a box and hide among the scenery. His springy arm allows him to grab survivors and pull them closer to him before clawing them to death. Additionally, his music gets louder and faster the closer he gets to his prey. This cute but deadly creature is the horrifying result of several failed experiments. The first of its kind, it was created from its toy counterpart. The original toy was created in 1966 and then used as the basis for this monster. I think we're very likely to see him in Chapter 4, and trust me, he's going to cause us a lot of trouble. And the leader of my rating, as you have probably already guessed, is Prototype. Prototype is a black mechanical prosthesis, which has a human bone at its base, which acts as a joint, and at the end of this prosthesis there are long pointed fingers. Recall that Prototype is first mentioned to us in Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 on a black VHS tape as Experiment 1006 Prototype. Prototype has been described to us as being willing to kill for no reason, as if he enjoys it. It should also be noted that Prototype has a lot of intelligence, as evidenced by the story of one of the scientists on the VHS tape, where he describes how Prototype used something like a laser pointer to interfere with a surveillance camera and escape from the room where he was imprisoned. He also had good organizational skills, because according to our information, he was the one who organized that famous The Hour of Joy, which was fatal for the Playtime Factory. As far as we know, from the words of Mommy Longlegs, Prototype collects remains of dead characters and uses them as elements for his new body. So from here, we can conclude that this prosthesis, which we were shown in both the second and third parts of the game, is only a part of his body, but not the whole body. I believe that Prototype clearly has some sort of plan and is clearly following it. Sometimes it feels like we're playing a game not Poppy Playtime, but Prototype Playtime, because when he needs to, he's even willing to sacrifice his most loyal assistant, the one who killed all the monsters, even those who simply didn't agree with Prototype. I think you've already realized that we're talking about CatNap. The question arises whether he is really so huge, scary, and strong that he is feared by all monsters, feared even by those who serve him, because they don't know what to expect from someone with such power and intelligence. So I think that Prototype will be a nuisance for us, not only in the 4th chapter, but in the following chapters too. Well, do you agree with my ranking of the strongest characters in the 4th chapter? Maybe you should add or remove someone from this list? Write your opinion in the comments. I'll be glad to read them. Also, leave your questions. I will gladly answer them in new videos. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the news from the world of Poppy Playtime. Well, that's all for today. It was a pleasure to talk to you all. Bye-bye. See you soon.